Yeah, how cool would it be if I started the video as off screen and then I like walked on screen and was like, folks. Because that's basically how all the big YouTubers do it. So if you enjoyed the folks, leave a like and subscribe to the channel without ever even knowing what my content's about. Thank you so much. Anyways, I'm Matt with RTCG. I appreciate you tuning into the video. We're gonna be looking at a market update, a Pokemon Market Monday. How could it get any better? PMM, comment down below. Listen, there's some crazy things happening in the hobby right now. We're going to talk about all the hype cycles with Phantasmal Flames right around the corner. Inferno X just released. We're also going to be talking about some crazy opportunities that I see in the hobby that may interest you, or you may look at me and say, hey, that guy's a clown. Either way, I really appreciate you being here, listening to me rant and ramble a little bit about one of my favorite hobbies, Pokemon. So let's go ahead and dive in. I want to add some value here. We're going to be talking a little bit at the start of this video about hype cycles and how it's not always the best idea to follow hype cycles or to FOMO into things. Listen, the hype cycle benefits people that were already established and present within the hobby. It doesn't benefit necessarily your casual collector or somebody looking to just get into investing or selling right now. The reason for this is once a hype cycle begins, let's look at Inferno X, Phantasmal Flames. Charizard cards are pumping right now. We're going to look at a couple of them in just a second, but what I want you to know is it's already too late, okay? If you don't have a binder full or a collection of Charizard cards that you've been sitting on and collecting and buying for the last 6 to 8 months, then now's not the time to buy and speculate on them. Right now is the time to sell, okay? You sell into the hype. But I think a lot of a common misconception that people fall into is you start to feel FOMO, like you missed out on a play. Did you miss out? Well, kind of, like you're missing out on a hype cycle right now. But the beautiful thing about this hobby, about TCGs, is don't worry, like Charizard's going to pump again. So the best piece of advice I can give you as we jump into all these prices is to not FOMO and not buy into the hype. If you are a casual collector and Charizard is one of your favorite Pokemon, you want to collect Charizard, then honestly, I'm going to tell you to wait until the set after Phantasmal Flames, or even give it 3 to 6 months, maybe 2 sets in the future. Let Phantasmal Flames, let the Charizard hype die down a little bit. Because like there's gonna be a Piplup card, Oh wait, there's a Piplup card in Phantasmal Flames. Listen, Piplup's just as cool as Charizard and demands just as much hype. And honestly, I think maybe the hype around Phantasmal Flames is actually because of Piplup and not actually because of Charizard at all. And Piplup's just kind of like Geppetto in the background pulling all the strings. Anyways, I really love Piplup if you can't tell. So let's get back on track and talk about Charizard real fast. Charizard will pump again, but in the next 3 to 6 months, you're going to see these cards I'm about to talk about, they're going to correct in price. There's going to be a much better buy-in price than where they're at right now. And I think that for anybody that's watching this, please hear me. Like if you turn off this video, wait 30 seconds. I promise this will really help you in your journey, whether you're a business, an investor, a collector, whatever. Just don't buy in during the hype, okay? Hype cycles, the hype is meant for selling. It's meant to benefit and maximize the profits that a business or a established investor speculator can make. So let's take a look at some of these Charizards. If you are a casual collector, you love Charizard, and you're looking to maybe buy in and speculate on Charizard cards, give it some time. I promise these prices are going to correct. There's going to be better buy-in prices. I said promise. I should never guarantee, okay? I'm pretty sure in the next 3 to 6 months, there will be better buy-in prices. And history's definitely proven that, but it's crazy right now. So what if these never go down? And right now is the cheapest you could buy in. You guys, 3 to 6 months from now, you comment on my recent video, you'd be like, hey, you lied to me. I'm so sorry. I can't guarantee anything, but I really do believe that that's going to be the case. Okay, Charizards. Let's look at 151. Let's look at Paldean Fates. These two cards are absolutely phenomenal. I will be honest, I love 151. It's what got me back into the hobby. It's what really got me interested in selling and being part of the hobby in the way that I am now. But that Paldean Fates SIR Charizard is sheesh. It is beautiful, guys. That's probably one of my That and honestly, the Obsidian Flames SIR, those two right next to each other, ooh, chef's kiss, y'all. I love it. I don't care. It has the terrestrialized crown on it. I think it looks sick. Okay, the art style, everything about it's beautiful. 151 obviously fits the theme of the set. I think 151 as a theme, like as a set theme, just killer. It's the best. But these two standalone Charizards, Paldean Fates and Obsidian Flames, my fave. These cards are worth over $300. The 151 Zard is nearing, if it hasn't already eclipsed its all-time high, I think of around 315 from the previous hype cycles. What's crazy is the Paldean Fates is running right alongside the 151 Zard at over $300. Just a little tidbit here. Another reason why I'm pretty sure the Paldean Fates Zard is going to correct in price is we just got confirmed that there is going to be more Paldean Fates released into the market. And even if that all gets botted and scalped, those packs will flood into the market, in the secondary market, and there will be Charizards in those packs, which will be listed and fire sold on TCG Player under where the market is right now. That is the way it goes. People very quickly try to sell and get any sort of profit they can get off of ripping packs or buying products, and it just causes a correction in prices, and it causes a better buying opportunity if you're willing to engage in the secondary market, which I understand right now maybe you're not. There's a lot of people right now that are very much hardcore about not engaging in the secondary market because you don't think it's healthy for the overall community. Totally understand. So live out your convictions, okay? So those two Zards are just like a microcosm of what's happening with Charizards across the board, and this is all being driven because of the hype surrounding Phantasmal Flames. Again, hype cycles benefit people who are already established. Speculators / investors that are already established, already had binders and collection ETBs full of Charizard SIRs. Those people right now are eating pretty. They are selling into the hype and they're making a lot of money. Or they've graded cards over time and then they're making even more money. I do have both of these Zards. I will not be selling. That's part of my PC and part of my collection. And honestly, I think that those cards have a lot more room to run. I think that everyone has a sell price. You know, there will be eventually a price that these hit that I'll be like, okay, it's time to sell. Like, this is a no-brainer. Right now, where they're at is a tempting number, but it is not that number by far yet for me. So that's what's going on with Charizards. Let's look at some other kind of things that are happening. I always like to call out the Pokemon TCG Classic. This is that big black box that was available, super heavy, but it's kind of a reprint of all the OG. It came with 3 different sets themed after all the original starters, and it has this beautiful kind of foiling on it. It's got the Charizard, the Venusaur, the Venusaur. It's got the Charizard, the Venusaur, and the Blastoise, all looking amazing with their OG art. This product, people hate on it, okay? I think it came out the gate swinging, retailing at around, like, MSRP for this is like $400, okay? So the numbers I'm about to say may not be impressive to you, but this was being fire sold everywhere for way under market. In fact, Sam's and Costco both had deals under $200 for this. I picked up 1 box just because, like, you hear all the time in investing, like, you should be looking where other people aren't. Like, where people are, like, products and areas that people are hating on are typically, like, good buys. And so what I did is I was watching YouTube and I saw all these YouTube creators hating on this product, saying it's absolutely going nowhere, it's the worst ever. I saw that it was being fire sold on Sam's Club and Sam's Club and Costco, and I was like, I'm just gonna pick one up and see what happens. So my buy-in price is under $200, and this Pokemon Classic is selling in the $290 range right now, which is crazy. And I just, like, I love this. I'm not gonna lie, like, I do watch and enjoy Nostalgianomics content. I don't agree with everything the guy says, but overall I do think that he has some really good points. He has a track record. He's established in the community. I've learned a lot from him. But if I'm ever in a live stream and he ever notices my comments, it's usually because I'm mentioning this product and he mentions how much he hates about it, or how much he hates it, which I think is awesome. So I'm going to continue doing that because I've got a very, like, I'm a pretend investor, okay? I do have a collection of sealed. I am speculating on some items and things like that. but it's by no means this like super big thing. I'm primarily a business. I primarily buy and sell bulk and collections. I do rip and ships with like mostly Japanese product on, the weekends and stuff like that. So when it comes to speculating and investing, I'm not like a hardcore investor. I'm just cosplaying as one, okay? But I have this on my PC, so I always call back to it, and I always like to kind of poke at people that kind of hate on the products because, believe it or not, I do think that this product eventually is going to be worth over MSRP. I think this product is going to be looked at pretty fondly in the future when it's no longer readily available. And people are going to love those old school cards. I see it. It's going to be how it is. Is it going to take years to get there? Are there better places to put your money right now? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to keep this in my closet for sure. So let's kind of transition here. Oh, actually, there's one more thing I want to talk about, like the effects of hype. Okay. So let's look at another example from Mega Evolutions that just released in English. The Marshadow IR. This thing is wild. I love this card. I actually pulled it from one of my viewers during one of my live streams. I love the fact that Marshadow is such a cool looking Pokemon, and then you have the Pikachu casting the shadow in the card. A lot of people, when you're looking at the card, you just see the Marshadow, and yeah, you see like the yellow, and you're like, oh, what's that? But if you really look at it, it's Pikachu's face. He's casting a shadow on Marshadow, and Marshadow looks like he's about to get into a fight or something with Pikachu. Well, this card released, it was pre-selling like $20 to $30, which is pretty high for an IR. People are already kind of really hyped on it. This card surged up to around $100, okay? $100 just right after release, and then has since corrected around 20% to $80, y'all. That's crazy. An IR selling for $80, not even a week after release, is wild. It's bonkers, guys. But that doesn't share and tell the whole story, okay? This card, this IR, is actually a throwback to a older, maybe like mid-era, Cosmic Eclipse era, just like bulk rare. Okay, there's a bulk rare in Cosmic Eclipse, a Marshadow, with a Pikachu on the side of the card, on the edge of the card, that's casting a shadow on Marshadow. It's literally like a throwback to that old card. It's beautiful. Both the cards up next to each other are crazy. But here's the deal, okay? The Marshadow like 4x'd in price right after release, but the Marshadow from Cosmic Eclipse is the real winner here. Just a couple weeks ago, this bulk rare was selling for 31 cents, which is a pretty high value bulk, okay? If I bought bulk from you, like if I bought your bulk and I found some 31-cent cards, I'd be like, sheesh, I'm rich, I'm winning. Listen, 31 cents is awesome for a bulk card. But this card went from 31 cents to $20. Lowest listing right now is $20 on TCG, guys. That is thousands and thousands of percent. Okay, so if you were a Marshadow believer, if you've been here since Cosmic Eclipse and you have just been collecting ETBs full and ETBs full of this card, you're winning at life right now, okay? You are the smartest, most brilliant person. I want you to comment down below if that's you and let me know, okay? Congratulations, by the way. That's so crazy. Beautiful story. Super cool throwback to an older, more vintagey card. I would love to see Pokemon do that more. I do think it's honestly like the Cosmic Eclipse Marshadow running up in price like that. I don't really have a thought about it. Like, will people miss out? Like, will that price some people out of buying that card? Yes, but like, also those people probably didn't even know that card existed until right now with all the hype and FOMO. So did they ever want the card in the first place, or did they only want it because it's expensive now? You know what I mean? Like, that's always the question you have to ask, you know? I don't know. Hype is weird. FOMO is weird. Just don't buy in the hype. Don't buy in the FOMO. Wait some time for things to correct and buy in. I already went over all that. We're not going to rehash that. Okay, so let's look at some opportunities in the market that you may not be thinking about. Because honestly, things are hard right now. Prices are crazy. So where can you buy in? Like, if you're a casual collector, someone that enjoys the hobby, obviously you're watching this video, which is probably like a truly casual person. It's probably not on YouTube looking at like Pokemon business and investing market type stuff. But if you're more of a casual collector, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I'm not saying that in a bad way. Casual is not being used in a bad way here. If you're more just of a collector, or maybe like a low-key like speculator investor, then I want to give you some plays because I love ripping packs. And maybe you're like me, you just want to rip some packs for more affordable prices. Well, obviously the best option for you is to maybe jump into a Pokemon Center release, maybe a like Best Buy, Walmart, Target app release. Those always happen so like early in the morning. It's always like 2 a.m. I like wake up the next day getting ready for work and I'm like, oh, Target released 151 bundles, and there's no way I could have bought them because I have to work, you know? And they sold out minutes after. So I would have just stayed up all night, been very frustrated. I didn't even get any product, and then not been able to work very well the next day. So I can never really get those things. I've gotten lucky sometimes on PC, like PokemonCenter.com, but it doesn't happen very often. I try sometimes though. So that's probably your best bet to get stuff at retail. You could also look at other languages. Japanese, even though it is more expensive than it has been in the past, it's still reasonably cheaper than English as well. So let's look at some English packs though. I'm going to look at 3 sets. So the first 2 is going to be Twilight Masquerade and Journey Together are the first 2 sets we're going to look at here. And then a surprise 3rd set that's probably a little bit of a hot take, okay? So Twilight Masquerade just had a pretty sizable ETB reprint. A lot of people are saying that this is already sold out everywhere in their area and they can't find any more of these ETBs. So a lot of people are saying like, hey, this wasn't actually very sizable. It's a pretty small reprint. But I'll be honest, in my area, honestly, any LGS I go into, they have these ETBs priced around $60 to $70, which is either right under market. Although if you're talking about $60, you're talking about that's really, really, really close to MSRP, okay? I understand some people are really stinky about like not paying over MSRP, but listen, $60 from your LGS, chances are this is a reprint. They didn't probably pay distribution prices for it. They probably still paid over it. So honestly, support your LGS. If you see this at $60, I think it's a screaming buy. But on TCG Player, it is $70, not that much more. Yes, you gotta pay the shipping and fee, taxes and shipping and everything. And I just wanna say like, that's right at a little bit over $7 per pack. And you get the promo in it, you get everything with it. So if you're looking to rip, that's honestly pretty good for this market, for Twilight Masquerade. This call out though is less for ripping because the Journey Together set we're about to talk about is a much better like value for ripping. This set in particular, I think if you're looking to speculate and you want to kind of add to your ETB collection and like position, I think this right now is the best option for people buying in. Outside of scalping, outside of finding product at MSRP, which please don't scalp. That's so silly. I think Twilight Masquerade is a great buy, especially just to like grab a couple ETBs to throw into your PC and just forget about or just look at and admire. I think it's amazing. Journey Together is retailing like packs are around $6 to $6.50 right now, which is honestly one of the best price per packs that you can get. Also, this set is smaller, so chances are you're going to get some of those those chase cards that you like whether it's the Salamence, you want the Lily's Clefairy. There's some really cool cards in that set that honestly, the Reshiram, I think people sleep on it a little bit. It's a beautiful set. Yes, it's small. No, it's not the hypest best set right now. But if you're looking to just rip some packs at a more affordable price, Journey Together is probably the go-to for this. I also want to make a call out that the bundles right now on TCG Player are $43. You could probably negotiate a cheaper price on something like Facebook Marketplace or like a face-to-face deal. And even get it for a little bit under that. You're not going to get it for necessarily retail, but you are going to be able to negotiate a better price there. That's right around $7 per pack, a little bit over. That's not a bad play. That's not a bad price to have another sealed product and add that to your collection. Bundles are, I would say it's booster boxes are the king. Then you got ETBs have like historically been that secondary like collector's product, but man, bundles are so small and compact. Really kind of like, they're kind of cool too to hold on to and throw into a PC and everything. So bundles, you can't go wrong with them. Bundles, ETBs, and booster boxes. Booster boxes right now are crazy, so there's not gonna be any booster box recommendations on this video. Maybe there will be in the future. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here with kind of a hot take for my last recommendation. Then we're gonna close it out with some thoughts, but I wanna encourage you right now. If you've watched to this point in the video, let me know your thoughts down below. Am I missing something? Is there a product? Is there a single card that you are really looking at and considering making a play on? I'd love to know that. Because all of us are different, but I do kind of like the idea of making this kind of a series on the channel of just talking about my thoughts about the market, what's happening, where's the hype cycles at so we can avoid those, and how can we maximize just our market knowledge to make the best decisions we can from a collector point of view, from a speculator investor point of view, and from a business standpoint, which in my wrap-up thoughts, we're going to talk about the business side, okay? And I think that my most bought-in viewers that are watching to the end, you guys will really appreciate those thoughts. So my hot take and the last set I want to talk about is Prismatic Evolutions, okay? I think Prismatic Evolutions is, man, it's still a good buy. And this is after, like, if I would have made this video several weeks ago, things would have been cheaper, okay? So I'm already kind of recommending this as prices are kind of like tiptoeing upwards. ETBs just had a massive reprint. Prices dropped at or below $100 in the last several weeks. That was the time to buy those. Those are already up to 130 again, okay? It's not time to buy the ETB, so we're gonna look at a couple other things here. First up is the loose packs. Loose packs are selling on TCG Player for right under around $9. You can find them in the $8 range as well. One of the lowest prices we've seen loose packs at, honestly. And I think that that's interesting. So if you speculate and buy loose packs, that's something to consider. I personally don't have a lot of loose pack inventory. A lot of the loose packs I have are from my stream. But I think that that's an interesting play. But the product I really want to focus on here is the surprise box. I actually just went out and got a case of these today. Super excited to have that as part of my collection. I will likely be selling that and using that as part of my like business kind of like churn and burn product. These right now are selling at $40 per surprise box on TCG Player. These have had really sizable reprints, but remember, that is going to be 4 packs in the stamped promo card. These stamped promo cards had been going pretty crazy. Right now, they have all corrected down in price. They've kind of compressed down in price. So right now, there's not a huge amount of value in that stamped promo necessarily. But as these become more scarce and as the reprints kind of slow down on this particular SKU and product, those will start kind of tiptoeing upwards again. And I think that we're going to look back at these prices of around $8 to $9 for loose packs and $40 for this surprise box. We're going to look back one day and be like, dang, that was a screaming, no nonsense, don't even think about it buy. It's the same thing for like 151, like basically anything 151. It's exactly the same kind of thought process. I really do believe that. Prismatic and 151, I think, will be the top performing sets, specialty sets from Scarlet and Violet. So anyways, I just think that that's really my thoughts on the whole hype cycle, FOMO, and then some like interesting kind of products and sets to look at to potentially buy and rip and collect and speculate on. So let's close out this whole video with my thoughts on the business side, because I've really been talking about collectors, the market, speculating on it and everything. But how do you navigate this type of market as a business, as someone that's actively looking to participate, buy and sell, because that's what we do in Pokemon. It's a reselling business. Honestly, you look in places where other people aren't. Right now, all of the hype and all of the conversations around sealed products in the latest and greatest set, and then cards surrounding that, like the Charizard kind of craze right now. Here's a couple ideas. As a business, if you have some disposable capital that you can use to speculate on, you could look at some of the rumors for upcoming sets in the next 3, 6, 9 months. You could look at, I don't know, the anniversary coming up. People have already been speculating on celebrations and stuff, so be careful there because the price is already running up there. But you could speculate on the rumors, right? You could look into it and be like, hey, I have a strong inkling, I have a strong feeling that X card is going to be the next big one in the second set that's on the way. And you could be like, I'm going to buy all of the Palmo cards because that's going to be the big SIR in 2 sets from now. There's going to be a Mega Evolution Palmo. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. I'm just coming up with something. I wanted to use Piplup, but there's gonna be a Piplup in Phantasmal Flames, guys. Anyways, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the Piplup. I think Piplup outshadows Charizard 100%. So you could speculate on that, but honestly, if you don't have a lot of capital, I wouldn't do that. If you are working with a more tightly reined capital range, I definitely am. I'm not doing that to speculate on things. Do I speculate on things from time to time? Yes, but I'm not actively making that part of my business plan. My business plan is buying bulk and buying collections. And that's what I would recommend. If you're a business and you need to churn and burn product to raise capital, continue to generate revenue, look at bulk. Bulk has such a low buy-in price, such a low risk there for you to really break even and make money. You just have to learn the game and learn how to turn that, to burn it, to make money in bulk. Lucky for you, I have a lot of videos around that, so you can check out my shorts and my long form content. And then collections. I think collections are always a go-to, okay? Just be careful with collections. A lot of people right now are selling into the hype, so you may see a lot of collections popping up with Charizards in them. If you're going to participate and buy a collection with Charizard in it, please be careful. If you buy a collection with Charizards and you're able to secure it at 70% of market, that's pretty good. But just remember, as the hype cycle gets going, as things continue to evolve, those high performing cards right now, those Charizard cards could correct 30% overnight. I promise it could happen. So take that into consideration when you're buying those collections. Chances are those people selling the collections with a lot of Charizards, they know exactly what they're doing and they're not going to accept anything less than what they're comfortable with. So maybe look for collections from people that are not trying to sell the hypest, most valuable cards right now. You can still make money there. It's a like tried and true and proven method to making money in the hobby. So buy bulk, buy collections. If you have the money, speculate maybe on future plays and things like that. Like literally, if you're watching this and you speculated and you have ETBs and ETBs full of the Marshadow from Cosmic Eclipse, please let me know. And like on Instagram, like post a story and tag me in it. Okay. I want to see these ETBs full of these Marshadows because you are rolling in money right now. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching almost a 30-minute video. That is wild. Oh my gosh. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are getting so close to that 1,000 range. We're already over 800 subscribers. Thank y'all so much. Have a good one. Peace.